What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm your co-host, Donovan Quick, and I just got home from the Dolphins game myself, so I got to see everything up close and personal. At times, it was really nice. At times, it was really, really down, and the fans were letting you hear it, whether they liked it or they didn't. And I'll tell you what, Tua told us he didn't like it. Tua told us basically with his body language and without saying it really, but like in so many words, he is done with Mike McDaniel. Tua is done with him, and honestly, so am I. We're at the point now that we're in year 4 and we're having the same mistakes over and over and over again. It is the same thing every single week. You're not getting the play calls in on time in situational football. Situational football, you're either good at or you're not. And Mike McDaniel, you are not good at situational football. Like, you try to calm myself down. You have a hurry up offense that looks so good. Tua looks incredible running it. He's efficient. Like, yeah, if it's not there, he's throwing it away. He's running out of bounds. I know a lot of people didn't like that, but you're not letting time go off the clock. You're giving yourself a second chance. Like, there was a throw. It was like a little under 2 minutes left, and he could have hit someone for like a 2-yard gain, but instead he threw it out of bounds. And there was some fans around me that were complaining, and I'm like, no, I'd rather him throw it out of bounds, because 2 yards, who gives a shit about 2 yards when you lose 10 seconds because of that? I rather in that time frame where we were on the field, I'd rather have the 10 seconds than the 2 yards. Now, given a little bit later in the game, we took a delay of game. Like, literally just, we saw it was going to happen because Tua didn't get the play call in on time, and the personnel changes were all happening. It was a whole clusterfuck, and they're just, oh yeah, we're just going to take it. We're not going to use our last timeout, and we took an additional 5-yard loss on that to make it a 2nd and 20, which baffles me, by the way. You have 1:09 left, and you take a timeout. You take that. You're on their side of the field. You're on the better side. You're at like the 35-yard line. You have 15 yards to go get this first down. It's 2nd and 15. If it was 1st and 15, okay, maybe I would understand, because now you have 4 downs to kind of work with. But now you have 3 downs to go get 20 yards. They're gonna play so safe on you, and your offensive line is not good enough to give Tua a lot of time. So when you have that safe coverage, yeah, they're going to give you the stuff underneath, especially over the middle of the field. So yeah, we got a 9-yard gain on the next play, but then we used our timeout. And then once again, you're late to getting the snap off, and it's almost another delay of game. And it's just that situational football just isn't there. And Tua was specifically, he was over it. He said that he needs to have a conversation with Mike McDaniel and Darrell Bevell, his quarterback's coach, on how they're going to clean this up, because it is just unacceptable at this point. Like, you cannot be having that kind of confusion at that point in the game. It doesn't matter, it's the second game of the year, whatever. You cannot have that. And he's honestly, he's right. He's 100% right. And now, am I saying Tua played perfect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not saying Tua was played perfect. I'm going to get to Tua in a second. But he has a huge point there. And he did take some responsibility, saying that it's on him as well as McDaniel and Bevell, and to get these guys in and not confused and get them in the right spots so that we can get the playoff on time. So he did take some responsibility, but the point that he made, that he's going to have a conversation with the head coach, like, who does that unless you're Brady or Manning or, Mahomes, and of that kind of stature, where you're like, yeah, I'm going to talk to my coaches and we're going to find out what's going wrong and we're going to fix it. Like, I like that responsibility and leadership role that he took with that. But honestly, with the tone that he said it in, how he said it, it's telling me that he's really kind of done with McDaniel. He kind of hinted at it a little bit last year, where he was talking about, we're getting these super long play calls in and we're not lining up on time, and I have no time to really dissect the defense and adjust our plays before we had to snap the ball, and that leads to a lot of different things happening. Now, last week, he just didn't read the defense for shit. This week, he was doing a really good job of it. Given the Pats are terrible, so we'll see how it goes going forward. But it's like, it's just, it was a horrible game of situational football. Every third down was late. Every fourth down was late. Down with a minute left, you need a touchdown, and it's ass. Now, to get to Tua's point, or to Tua, I put a little bit of this game on him as well. And now and actually I put a lot of it on him, but honestly, the interception I'm not mad at. Look, you're going for it on fourth down. It's 4th and 6 or whatever it is. If it's an incomplete pass, they get, decent field position. He did have a wide open tight end. I think it was Julian Hill that was breaking out on the left side, but he could not see him between the defender and the offensive lineman. He could not see that he broke off that way. And then he's running forward because he was going to run for the first down, but then the linebacker came over and was basically like, haha, no, you're not. And so instead of, he's coming up to the line of scrimmage, running forward, instead of flipping his hips and trying to lob it over, which is probably going to get a hospital ball that way, instead of doing that, he tried to force it into, I think it was Tyreek. It may have been Malik Washington. They're the same stature. I think it was Tyreek. And look, it got picked off. What sucked about it getting picked off more so, instead of the pick itself, was the return for 30 plus yards or 20 yards or whatever it was that put him in field goal range to end up, giving it a touchdown that we needed instead of a field goal. So that part sucked. I wasn't too mad. I was really mad. Then I watched the play like 3 other times, and I'm like, okay, I understand. If you look at the whole situation, he was trying to force a play, and at that point, you hope if it falls incomplete, but if it's picked off, you stop them and you hope your defense holds. And look, the defense did hold on that one play, but they still, scored a field goal off of it and forced it to be a touchdown game rather than a field goal game. But then it's like, and once again, the play call getting in there, we're running to the line so late. We had to use a timeout in the very first drive for like no reason at all. It was just so bad at situational football. Honestly, I was more critical about Tua's like quote unquote good plays. Like the bomb to Tyreek. I don't want him really throwing that too often. Like, yes, that should have been picked off, and it's picked off probably 7 or 8 times out of 10. Like, that ball should have been picked. 100%. Tyreek did an incredible job of tracking down that ball. I will say that. Now, also, on the flip side of things, there was some throws on outbreaking routes to Waddle and Tyreek that I think should have maybe had a little bit more oomph on it, just so you don't have, Waddle sitting up there in the air trying to catch a ball and then absolutely getting destroyed by the safety or the corner as he's in the air. You want him to, catch it, go out of bounds. So I would like to see a little bit more oomph on that ball. And I kept saying that throughout the game. It looked like it almost looked like he either didn't trust hit to throw it there, or he like didn't have the arm strength to get it there like that. And that being said, it kind of brings me back to the other thing. Like, I put it like a little asterisk next to, he should have thrown that ball earlier to Tyreek rather than, I don't want to say further. And he really couldn't throw it earlier either. Like, he just doesn't have the arm strength for that. Tyreek made a great play. I don't really want to see too much of that because, like I said, it's picked off a lot of the times. Like, he threw it probably 55 plus yards in the air off his back foot because he had to roll a little bit, stop, and throw. And it went 55 plus yards in the air for a 47-yard gain. So there's not too much to complain about, but I just don't want to see that too often because, like I said, that is picked off the majority of the time. A lot of fans in the area around me, they were like on some of his throwaways, and some of his, uh, like running out of bounds instead of trying to run for the first down in like under 2 minute situations. I prefer him to do that and kind of just take the time off the clock and not force something. Because if you force something, then you get that interception that he had on that fourth down. Now, I'm okay with him forcing that one because, like I said, of the situation. So I wasn't too mad about that. There was that miscommunication with Tyreek where Tyreek threw a little temper tantrum because it could have been a big gain, especially since the corner fell on the route. So that really could have been like, if he got that, he probably goes down to like the 10 or the 5 or whatever it was. I think we still ended up scoring on that drive. I think it was only a field goal though, so it wasn't all that. But yeah, because did we have a touchdown in the second half? I don't remember. Yeah, we did. Yeah, it just wasn't good situational football, and I'm truly done with McDaniel, bro. Like, if it was year 1, year 2, and if you go back to my videos, I call a lot for McDaniel to give the play calling away, whether it be to Frank Smith or Darrell Bevel. I say this all the time because it's not, I don't even care that you have too much stuff on your plate. You need to be able to have those play calls to go. Like, you need to be able to, okay, that Achane stepped out of bounds. Okay, cool. We're calling another play. Like Tua said in his press conference that, did he know that Achane stepped out of bounds? He's like, I actually didn't even see that Achane scored. I saw the ref ruling him out of bounds over here, so I was already back for the play. And so, like, that's the kind of situational awareness that we need. And look, I'm not praising Tua. I'm not. He did okay today. He didn't do great. He did his job for the most part. On that last one, taking a sack on fourth down, it really sucks to have that. But I also kind of put that on the play call. You know that they're going to pressure you because you know it's a fourth and I think it was 4th and 12, 4th and 13, and you need to get a first down. They're going to put pressure on you. It should have been a designed rollout and something, but like, they got pressure and sacked him within 2.5 seconds. You cannot tell me that he should have, like, yeah, you had Achane coming open as soon as he broke, but as soon as Achane broke, Tua was like halfway on the ground. Like, you cannot convince me that Tua could have gotten that ball off at all. Like, there was no chance he was getting that ball off. Now, I would have liked for him just to say fuck it and throw it somewhere. Like, he sees that he's gonna get sacked and just chuck it. Like, that's your life. Like, just, I don't even care if it's 20 yards backwards, just chuck that shit and see what happens. And he didn't do it. He took the sack. It just is what it is. But yeah, Tua wasn't perfect. He wasn't great. He wasn't bad. I mainly put this on Mike McDaniel and the defense. The defense, which out of 15 drives this season has given up 13 scores. They were 7 of 7 last week, so that puts them of 8 drives this week. That gives them 6 out of 8 drives they scored this week. I'll give them, let's just say, 5 out of 7 because they did stop them for the field goal. So 5 out of 7 drives, they allowed a score. 5 out of 7 drives they allowed a score. That is not good. They had 33 points on the board once again. Same thing last week. You let the running backs and mostly Ramondre, just absolutely run wild on you, whether it be up the gut or catching a pass and taking it 15 yards. Like, you got torched by the running backs. Didn't really get torched by the wide receivers too much. Austin Hooper here and there. He just kept losing whatever linebacker was on him. I don't know why we have linebackers guarding them, but neither here nor there. I also hate zone coverage. I think zone coverage is stupid. These guys really aren't good enough to play man-to-man. but I think that we just need to emulate what we did against the Ravens back in 2021. Thursday Night Football, Brian Flores, 0 blitz the whole time. I would really love to see that. And look, I understand that's a little unrealistic, but you put so much pressure on these guys, they're not gonna run all over you if you're blitzing like that. I don't think we blitzed one time today, or the one time we did, they threw a screen and took it. It was third and forever, and they took a screen for a first down off of our blitz. It's just it sucks so much. Like, especially when you need to get pressure within a certain amount of time, or your secondary is going to break down. Like, if you're not at the quarterback within 3 seconds, they're probably going to get the ball off fairly quickly and to an open receiver who's somehow open, because our corners can't cover for anything. And our linebackers are covering running backs that are playing wide receiver. So you get that kind of mismatch, and it's just it's hell. It's just hell. That being said, I would be really intrigued to see if Mike McDaniel is fired on Friday morning after we get absolutely trounced by the Bills in Buffalo. I liked Mike McDaniel, but I'm so over it, bro. I cannot express enough. Like, I've defended this man for so long. I said, look, if you just fix this, your situational play calling, your situational awareness, if you fix that, if you gave play calling away, like, you could fix so many things. But then you also have so many issues that takes no talent to do. The stupid penalties over and over and over again. It brings me back to the Brian Flores era where we had the TNT wall, where you had to literally go and run to the wall if you didn't, if you did something that was wrong, that takes no talent. False start penalties, like unprovoked plays like that, encroachment penalties, holding penalties, stuff that takes no talent. You do that and you run to the wall. And we just had so many of those takes no talent plays that just, we gave it away. Self-inflicted wounds. And that's just the story with this regime. It's been the story since he was hired. He hasn't fixed it. It's been like, literally, there's 2 things with this regime. 2 things. It's situational play calling and it's penalties. It's same thing every single year. Honestly, if you want to throw a third thing in there and say injuries, sure, we can do that, because we were without 5 of our possible 22 starters today. We were without 5 of our possible 22 starters today. So you want to go ahead and say injuries as well, I'll go ahead and put that in there. But that's more on Greer than McDaniel, because you're signing guys that are just injury prone. Austin Jackson played one full year in his career, got paid an extension that he was well deserved of, and just pooped the bed the last 3 years. He's been on IR each of the past 3 years. I like Austin Jackson. He's a great guy. When he's in there, he's a pretty good tackle. He's slightly above average right tackle in the NFL when he's healthy. Problem is, dude is never freaking healthy, and I like the guy. Is what it is. You sign James Daniels, who never had an injury in his career before tearing his Achilles, and all of a sudden he has an ankle injury in camp, and that's not even what took him out. It was a pec injury, and now he's on IR. So now you're missing your entire right side of the line, which is to his blind side, mind you. Guys, I'm tired. I'm tired of it. And look, the offense at the end of the day did put up 27 points. Probably could have put up 30. and because we could have kicked the field goal at the end there. We could have put up 30 points. That, at the end of the day, should be enough to win football games. But if you're not situationally sound, offensively, defensively, special teams, you're not going to win games. Is what it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you watched the entire video, throw up the heart hands emoji. Love y'all. Deuces.